You wake up, you check your phone, you glance at a notification, make a quick decision, judge a situation, and move on. It feels effortless. It feels rational. It feels like your brain is simply processing reality. But the real answer is far stranger. Because your brain is not experiencing the modern world the way you think it is. Every day, your brain makes predictions, assumptions, and judgments using systems that evolved long before cities existed, long before schools, governments, smartphones, or even written language. In many ways, your brain is solving 21st century problems with software designed for a world that disappeared thousands of years ago. And that creates a strange problem. Many of the thoughts, fears, and decisions that feel logical today are actually the result of survival mechanisms operating in environments that no longer exist. To understand why, imagine your ancestors living on an open grassland tens of thousands of years ago. There are no hospitals, no police, no supermarkets, no social safety nets. A single mistake can be deadly. A rustle in the grass might be the wind, or it might be a predator. Which assumption keeps you alive? The cautious one. If your ancestors assumed danger when there was none, they wasted a little energy. If they assumed safety when danger was real, they disappeared from the gene pool. Over thousands of generations, this created a powerful bias inside the human brain. Psychologists call it negativity bias. Your brain naturally pays more attention to threats than opportunities. Bad news grabs attention faster than good news. Criticism feels stronger than praise. One negative comment can outweigh dozens of compliments. Why? Because your ancestors survived by noticing problems before they became disasters. Researchers have repeatedly demonstrated this tendency. Studies by psychologist Roy Baumeister and colleagues showed that negative experiences generally have a stronger psychological impact than positive ones. In simple terms, bad often feels stronger than good. But negativity bias is only the beginning. Consider another strange habit. Imagine walking into a crowded room. Nobody says anything hostile. Nobody attacks you. Nobody even notices you. Yet your heart rate might increase. Why would your brain react this way? The answer lies in social survival. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging to a group. Humans are not the fastest animals, not the strongest, not the most heavily armored. Your ancestors survived through cooperation. Groups hunted together, shared food together, protected one another. Being excluded could be devastating. Evolutionary psychologists believe this helped shape powerful social monitoring systems in the human brain. Even today, your brain often treats social rejection as a serious threat. Remarkably, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger found evidence suggesting that social rejection activates some of the same brain regions involved in physical pain. Your brain is not confused. It is responding exactly as evolution designed it to respond. The problem is that the modern world creates far more social exposure than your ancestors ever experienced. A hunter-gatherer might interact with a few dozen people regularly. Today, a single social media post can expose you to thousands. Ancient survival systems are now operating on a scale they were never designed to handle. And the consequences appear everywhere. Why do online comments feel personal? Why does embarrassment linger for years? Why can a stranger's opinion affect your mood? Because your brain often treats social information as survival information. But there is another ancient mistake hiding beneath the surface. Your brain constantly searches for patterns. This ability helped your ancestors survive. Imagine noticing unusual footprints near a water source, or recognizing seasonal changes that predict food availability. Pattern recognition offered enormous advantages. The better your ancestors detected patterns, the better their chances of survival. Yet this powerful ability comes with a cost. Sometimes your brain finds patterns that are not actually there. You connect unrelated events. You see meaning in coincidence. You assume causes without enough evidence. This tendency has fascinated scientists for decades. Research into cognitive biases shows that human beings frequently rely on mental shortcuts called heuristics. These shortcuts help your brain make fast decisions. But speed often comes at the expense of accuracy. Why? Because evolution prioritizes survival, not perfect truth. A fast decision that keeps you alive is often more valuable than a perfect decision that arrives too late. Now consider something even stranger. Your brain is constantly predicting the future, not years from now, seconds from now. Neuroscientist Carl Friston proposed influential theories suggesting that the brain functions partly as a prediction machine. Your brain continuously generates expectations about what will happen next and updates those expectations when reality provides new information. This process is incredibly efficient. Without it, navigating the world would be overwhelming. But it also creates blind spots. When expectations become too strong, your brain may ignore information that contradicts them. You notice evidence that supports existing beliefs. You overlook evidence that challenges them. Psychologists call this confirmation bias, and it affects nearly everyone. The result is a fascinating paradox. The same brain mechanisms that help you understand reality can sometimes prevent you from seeing it clearly. Yet perhaps the most important ancient mistake involves happiness itself. Many people assume happiness was evolution's goal. It wasn't. Survival was. Imagine if your ancestors became permanently satisfied after finding food. Motivation would disappear. Exploration would slow. Opportunities would be missed. Instead, evolution favored a brain that continually seeks improvement, a brain that quickly adapts to success and begins searching for the next objective. Psychologists often refer to this process as hedonic adaptation. You achieve something important. For a moment, satisfaction arrives. Then the feeling fades. A new goal appears. And the cycle begins again. This can feel frustrating, but from an evolutionary perspective, it makes perfect sense. A permanently content ancestor might stop pursuing resources, allies, or opportunities. A slightly dissatisfied ancestor keeps moving, keeps searching, keeps surviving, and that ancient system still influences your life today. The phone notification that captures attention, the criticism that echoes longer than praise, the embarrassment that refuses to disappear, the assumptions your brain makes before evidence arrives, the endless desire for something more. None of these reactions emerged in the modern world. They are echoes from environments your ancestors once inhabited. The strange part is that these systems are not broken. They are working exactly as they were designed to work. The challenge is that the world changed faster than the brain. Your ancestors evolved in small groups, facing immediate physical dangers and limited information. You live among millions of strangers, endless information streams, and digital environments that never existed during human evolution. Ancient survival tools are now navigating a completely different landscape, and that may be the evolutionary mistake your brain makes every day. It often treats modern situations as if they were ancient survival challenges. A notification becomes a social signal. A disagreement becomes a threat. A setback becomes a potential disaster. A missed opportunity feels like a matter of survival. But once you recognize these ancient systems, something interesting happens. You begin to see your thoughts differently. Not every fear is a warning. Not every assumption is reality. Not every emotional reaction reflects genuine danger. Sometimes your brain is simply running an ancient survival program. A program that protected your ancestors for thousands of generations. A program that helped human beings survive long enough to build civilizations, invent technology, and transform the planet. And the next time your brain jumps to conclusions, fixates on a criticism, or treats a minor problem like a catastrophe, remember something surprising. The reaction may feel modern, but its origins are ancient. Because every day, your brain uses survival instincts designed for a vanished world. And that ancient evolutionary adaptation still shapes behaviors as simple as checking a notification, worrying about other people's opinions, or imagining what might happen tomorrow.